Nearly every small town has one, a dilapidated estate on the hill where young boys speed up their pace as they walk past in the evening. In Hannibal, Missouri, that role belonged to Rockcliffe Mansion. By the 1960s, its massive colonial revival columns were choked with weeds. Its windows were vacant, sole surviving daughter to deal with the eyesore. Her response was to tell the city to dig a hole and bulldoze the house into the ground. Just prior to the scheduled demolition, a small group of locals stepped inside for one final daytime inspection. They expected a hollow shell. Instead, the first turn of the key revealed that the town had completely misunderstood the nature of the ruins on the hill. The inspectors found a space frozen in time, discovering a Gilded Age interior that had remained undisturbed for nearly half a century. Original furnishings remained in their places, from the linens on the beds to the heavy bronze statues and marble fireplaces. Even the most fragile treasures survived the neglect. Intricate woodwork and vibrant stained glass windows by L.C. Tiffany were found intact, having escaped the reach of vandals for 40 years. Immense wealth had sat behind vacant windows for 4 decades, yet the grand fixtures remained free of the arson and stripping that usually claims such ruins. The mansion was the creation of John J. Cruikshank Jr., a lumber baron who began work on the house in 1898. Cruikshank built his fortune on the Mississippi, using the river to move massive quantities of timber from the north into the industrial hub of Hannibal. This scale of production, seen in these riverfront timber piles, made him one of the wealthiest men in the region. Cruikshank conceptualized Rockcliffe as a tool for reputation management, a physical manifestation of his wealth intended to force his way back into a society that had recently shunned him. Years earlier, Cruikshank's first marriage collapsed in a scandal so salacious it was reported in the New York Times. Cruikshank and a friend, Mr. Godfrey, had essentially swapped spouses, an arrangement that eventually led to a church investigation and a very public divorce. Rockcliffe was Cruikshank's attempt to overwrite that history. He hired the Empire Orchestra to play for 700 guests at the opening, reclaiming his status through sheer architectural opulence. For a brief window, the house was the social heart of Hannibal, utilizing cutting-edge electric lighting and Moorish-inspired parlors to dazzle the local elite. In 1902, Mark Twain visited the mansion for a final reception in his honor, speaking for 90 minutes from a platform over the grand staircase. Guests claimed they could still smell his ghostly cigar smoke in the halls long after he left. This era of vibrancy ended abruptly in 1924, when John Cruikshank died in his bedroom. According to local legend, his widow walked out of the house immediately after his death. She moved next door to live with her daughter and never returned, leaving the mansion's entire contents to sit in the dark. As the decades passed, the house on the hill became Hannibal's haunted house, a place defined more by urban legend than by its history. A local rite of passage emerged. Boys would sneak up to the 3rd floor to tear a small piece of a map from the wall, proving their bravery before racing back out into the night. Crucially, this fear of the haunted interior, combined with the watchful eyes of the family living right next door, limited the damage. Vandals might steal a scrap of paper to prove their courage, but they were too terrified of the shadows and the neighbors to loot the Tiffany glass or the heavy furniture. Today, Rockcliffe Mansion is a restored bed and breakfast, where the history of the Cruikshank family is preserved for travelers. Guests now experience a surreal, tactile connection to the past, sleeping in the same room where Cruikshank died, or using the original mahogany-seated fixtures from the time of Mark Twain's visit. While modern caretakers still report hearing the heavy bootsteps of Mr. Cruikshank on the servants' stairs at 2 a.m., they view these spirits as protective entities, watching over the ongoing restoration. The town's ghost stories functioned as an unintentional preservation effort. By framing the mansion as a place of dread, the community's own fears kept the interior safe from total destruction until it could be officially saved. At Rockcliffe, the legend of the haunted house on the hill didn't just provide a local thrill, it ensured that a Gilded Age masterpiece survived